Millions of people across the country will soon be living under a hosepipe ban after England was hit by one of the worst heatwaves in its history, leading to the country's driest July since 1935.
Now, recent images released from NASA show the difference just a year makes after extreme heat. You can see how much drier and sort of more burnt looking, basically, everything looks. People caught breaking the ban could be fined up to £1,000 for turning on their sprinkler, with water firms urging people to grass on their neighbours if they see them flouting the rules.
So here's the question. Would you tell on your neighbours if you caught them watering their geraniums? We're joined now by lawyer Paul Britton, who lives in Sussex. The ban comes into effect, I think, a week tomorrow, Paul, doesn't it? He says you should report on your neighbours for using their hosepipes, or we'll all suffer with water shortages in the long run.
But we're also joined by TV personality Rustie Lee, who says it's better to talk to your neighbours rather than grass them up. Oh, OK. So you're trying to take the sort of friendly route. Do you agree in principle, though, that you shouldn't be watering with a hosepipe ban?
I think that, quite frankly, people have been put under so much pressure with everything that we've gone through during the past 2 years, that to grass your neighbours up, which is funny, really, to grass them up when you're thinking of watering the grass. To me, it's ridiculous.
You see what we've done, yeah.
You know, there's a pun there, isn't there? So I think it's wrong to do that. I think it's better to go and speak to the neighbour. Perhaps they don't even realise that there is a ban. So you could kindly say to them, oh, did you realise there's a ban on or something, and let them know.
So, Paul, in interest of neighbourly relations, and you know, we live cheek by jowl with the people around us, would it not be better, as Rusty say, to address this and say, not sure you should be doing that, it's not strictly fair, rather than go to the levels of dobbing them in?
Well, Ben, I mean, it's a good point that Rusty makes. You know, we have been through a lot. We've got a cost of living crisis. The fine is quite steep. It's £1,000. But things could arguably get quite worse. You know, let's say, for example, you're in the shower. You've put your shampoo in your hair and the water runs dry. And you step out the shower, you look out your window, and Fred's watering his petunias with his hose, and that's where your water's gone. I mean, it could be as serious as that.
Is that a genuine risk? It's a valid point in terms of the image, but is that the risk that you think we're looking at? That if people carry on abusing it while there's a hosepipe ban, it will be that we run out of water in that way?
They only put these restrictions in, the water authorities, in the most serious of circumstances. So we are at a point now where the reservoirs are running low. So it is a genuine risk that we do run out of water for the essential services. You know, that you want water, you want to be able to cook, drink. When you turn the tap on, you expect it to flow.
So, Rusty, if you've gone and spoken to your neighbour, Fred's doing his geranium, you say, now, come on, Fred, there's a hosepipe ban. And he's like, I don't care. I'm going to carry on using it. At that point, would you think it's OK to dob him in? I can't believe you couldn't persuade somebody to do exactly what you want.
Luckily, I've got great neighbours. I have. My neighbours are absolutely...
It's a hypothetical situation. I'm not suggesting your neighbours wouldn't be a bit
If my neighbours were absolutely saying, no, I'm not going to turn it off, I don't care, I'd say to them, look, for instance, I pay towards little children in Africa and places like that who are digging wells to get water out. Now, we're going to get to a stage like that if you don't do something about it. The thing is, I really don't want to go to the authorities. I think the police have got enough on their hands. I think the water authorities should be busy mending pipes that are broken and gushing out water.
3 billion litres a day.
Exactly. So they should be busy doing that, not expecting people to be fined £1,000 to put into their coffers. So
and there's a story in the paper today, isn't there, Rosie, that talking about leaks, that there's actually a desalination. Gosh, I can't say it, but it basically takes the water, turns seawater into drinkable water that was opened by the Duke of Edinburgh years ago, that suddenly we find out it's been mothballed, not entirely clear why. So there's things, as you say, that authorities could be doing to help rather than penalise those that are specifically doing it. I think the problem is, Paul, it's breaking the law, and nobody wants lawbreakers if there's a hosepipe ban in. But the broader picture is, and just to play devil's advocate, that everybody does something or that they think is helpful and not helpful. So the person that's watering petunias say, oh, well, I have showers, I don't have baths, so I'm saving water there. Some people say, well, I'm helping the environment because, you know, I'm very green in the things I buy and how I work. And I suppose within a community, if you're dobbing people in, it's like you're looking over the fence and just picking on the thing that's visible.
I think dobbing people in or grass is the wrong terminology to be using. I mean, what we're thinking about.
Well, that is the proposal, though.
Well, it's.
to be fair.
Rusty makes a good point. You know, you could speak to your neighbour, but some neighbours aren't as friendly as others. And we live in times where we're almost passing ships in the night and we don't even know the person living next door. Yeah. Now, your neighbour, who you've never spoken to, leans over the fence and tells you to stop using the water that you're paying for. It could start a neighbourly dispute. You're better off phoning an authority anonymously and letting them deal with it. They're not going to go to prison. It's not going to be a case where someone is going to end up in the court. They'll probably get a PCSO knocking on the door saying, look...
No, Paul, if you know the thing comes through and you go, one of my neighbours has grassed me up.
Yes.
That is a very destabilising feeling. You'd be looking around going, who's done it? Yeah.
And you might stop using your hose and saving the water.
But the thing is, the point is, you would be living in anger.
Yeah.
People, we've had enough anger. We want to, you know, in my opinion, if we are nice and give out love and show love, and that's what humans are supposed to do, just give love. And if you can't pop a note to that person or just put up, please, a note, painted a board and put up in the area and go, please don't forget to save water. You know, I was having a shower just yesterday. I do have showers. And the water literally did stop. It did stop. And I had the soap everywhere. I mean, there's a big area there. There was soap everywhere.
We don't want that. You're absolutely right, Rusty. We want to make sure you get cleaned up.
Yes.
Good and proper. We're going to have to leave it there. Lots of you getting in touch. Tracy said folks snitching on their neighbours because they've dared to use a hose pipe are the ones who've got nothing else to do in their lives. Scott says, my neighbours won't grass me up for using my hose pipe to water my garden. But Simon says if they're breaking the hosepipe bans, you should report your neighbours. The price of water will go up higher and higher. Sarah says, should you grass up your neighbours that are using a hosepipe and sprinklers? Absolutely yes. Water scarcity is a serious problem.